Hey there, I'm Hello Rodney. Thanks for clicking on my video. Well, before I start this video, I want to draw your attention to something which probably some of you have already noticed. There is a line from my mouth. I think it's this side. I'm not sure. No, it's this side, I think. There's a line, and it looks like some sort of drool material. Now, I don't have mirrors around. I don't go around checking myself. I don't even have a medicine cabinet, which I have to get, which will have a mirror. But I took that radioactive iodine on Wednesday, and this looks like blood. So I noticed it in my last video that I just did a while ago on the sign at Auschwitz. And now, some of you wouldn't be caught dead doing a video with drool, some kind of weird drool, but, you know, I'm not you. I'm me. I gotta be me. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna have the guys. I grew up in a place where guys would chew tobacco and they'd have all this staining on their beard or whatever. And I used to do these videos. I can't remember what was my name. They're in the back somewhere, and I would do this. I would have a cap on with drool coming out of my mouth, which was coffee grounds and water that I would mix up, and I have a big drool coming out of my mouth, you know. And Billy, what was the name? It was a name that was similar to the character in Talladega Nights, Billy Joe, or I can't remember. So anyway, I would have this drool coming out of my mouth, and so anyway, to get back to what this is, I don't know what it is, and it looks like blood. And so I'm going to be going to my doctor, my local doctor here. It's 7:05, so I'm going to go down there. I'm going to call for an appointment at 8, and if I can't get an appointment, maybe I'll just go down there and wait around. Be a walk-in. It's important that I see my doctor because I've got to do some stuff with getting a prescription for this medicine for replacement therapy for for my thyroid. I mean, I've got some that they gave me from that the surgeons gave me, but I need to get on the other medication, and I need to talk to them about that. The medication, I went to get a refill, and it was like $60 for 60 pills, I think. And at Walmart, the medication that you take for thyroid replacement is something like $10 for 3 months. Okay, anyway. So if you see a line on my face and you're wondering, I was in a knife fight, and I haven't had time to clean up, so I'll get to it. Now, I noticed that most of you have been very, very happy with my movie reviews. I've done over 400, and so I'm going to do this one as well. Now, if you don't like to know what the movie's about, don't watch this video, because I'm going to talk about the whole thing. So it's called In Bruges, and it's about these two guys it's about more than two guys, actually, but it starts off these two guys, they're professional murderers. And so the young guy, on his very first job, he goes to kill a priest. And he, in the whole process of killing a priest, accidentally kills a kid. So now they're in Bruges. And they think they're in Bruges to lay low because they don't want to, that the boss wants to get them out of town, okay? But what they're there for is something different. So the boss calls. Now, he's like a really dictatorial kind of guy. He demands that they're by the phone when he calls and all kinds of stuff. So they got to be on their toes with this guy. So anyway, he calls, and you just watch the movie. It's a brilliant movie. And so he's talking to the older guy. So basically what it is that the guy who hired him to do the murder has got a code of ethics. If you kill a kid, what he said he would do, he would kill himself. If he were to go out on a job to kill somebody and he accidentally killed a kid, he would kill himself, because you just can't do that. So there he has ethics about him. killing somebody else is not a problem. You kill a kid, you got to kill yourself. So he put these guys up in Bruges. Now the reason he sent them to Bruges is because he wants the final days of this guy's life to be happy. So he sent him to Bruges. Now he's telling this to the guy, the older guy, who's going to be the one who's going to have to kill this guy. So in the movie, it's just so brilliant because the young guy is all upset that they're in Bruges. You know, and it's just, he hates it. He hates being in Bruges. It's, you know, he hates it. He wants to be in, you know, some other place, but he's in Bruges. So anyway, the guy, the mastermind had remembered spending some time in Bruges when he was a child, and he was fascinated by the swans and the old buildings, and it is beautiful. It is a beautiful place. So, and that's kind of the funny part about it too. So anyway, so now the guy's in a quandary, you know, because he's a hired killer. You know, he kills people. That's what he does. That's his job. But he doesn't want to kill this guy. But so anyway, the guy decides he's going to kill himself. So he gets a gun, and he's at a playground, and he's going to kill himself. And just as he's about ready to, the guy's got his gun. He's got it on. He's going to go and kill him right there. But then he realizes that the guy's got a gun. He's going to commit suicide. So then he goes over to prevent the guy from committing suicide. The guy sees the gun, if I remember correctly. The guy sees the gun and realizes that the guy was going to whack him. So then they're talking, and so he feels so bad that he killed the kid. And so, you know, the code of honor for these mobster guys is, you know, if the boss tells you to kill somebody, you got to kill him. But he basically told the guy, look, get on a train and get out of here and don't ever come back. And so he tells that to the boss. Well, the boss is not happy about this. So the boss comes back, goes to Bruges. Now he's got to basically kill them both. So there's kind of an interesting chase scene, the honor among people, because the guy who's there to kill the kid, the younger guy, the younger murderer, is confronted by a pregnant woman who's the one that runs the place where they're staying. And so, I mean, he's not going to go past her and stuff, and then they're shouting up and down at each other, you know, negotiating how they're going to do this and stuff. It's just brilliant the way it happens. And so there's this tower, church tower in the square. And so they want to go, the murderer, well, they're all murderers, but the guy who's the boss is in Bruges, and now he's talking to his, you know, his main guy or whatever, the guy who's done a lot of killings for him. And they say, okay, well, let's go up to the top of the tower to talk. So earlier in the movie, it was a scene where the guy taking the tickets was a pretty rude guy. So anyway, they go and they're going to pay to go up, and the guy says it's closed. And he's being a hard ass that it's closed. I mean, it's closed, it's closed. So the guy pulls out his gun, and pistol whips the guy, you know. And they go up to the top of the tower. So I think that's what happened. I can't remember. It was a long time ago I saw the movie. So they go up to the top of the tower, and they're talking and negotiate, you know, talking about it. And the guy basically is just surrendering. He says, okay, you know, you can kill me. I'm not going to kill the guy, but you can kill me is basically what it boils down to. So at this point, it's almost like, I think what happened at that point was the guy said, well, you know, you're going to have to pay something, so he shot him in the leg. And so now, this one guy, it was an interesting scene. There was a guy, the young guy had gone out partying because he didn't want to stay in the hotel room waiting for this phone call. And he had met a girl there at a bar, and that guy ended up beating up somebody in the restaurant who was complaining about the girl smoking. So anyway, they went, I think it was that point, they went, maybe it was before or after, I can't remember, but they went back to her room, right? And so she had a little scam going on where she sold drugs to people that made movies. Oh, there's a movie going on in this process. They're making a movie in Bruges. And this guy stumbles upon this movie scene where they're making a movie in Bruges, and he sees this girl, and she's a very beautiful girl, and he kind of puts the make on her. And anyway, and then there's a midget somewhere in this whole process. And anyway, she meets him, and she tells him that basically she sells drugs to people that make movies in Bruges. And so now they're up in her room, getting ready to get involved here in a serious way, if you know what I mean. So anyway, in bursts this guy, who turns out to be the guy that she also, she's got this other business where she goes and puts the make on guys, and then this guy barges into the room with a gun and robs them. Like he's like Bruges is a tourist place, so they're basically, she's selling drugs and robbing tourists through a prostitution vibe or some sort of whatever. So anyway, this guy comes in and he's all badass, but he's dealing with a hitman. This guy's not afraid of him, right? So basically, he takes the gun away from him and shoots, and I wasn't trying to hit him, but the thing was loaded with blanks, and it blew out the thing and basically blinded the guy. Okay, so now this guy's going around the movie with no eye, and so he wants revenge on this guy. So I don't remember how he found out that. I think he found out somehow. Anyway, I think it was him that told the hitman boss, the mob boss or whatever he was, that the guy who they thought was on the train was now back in Bruges, because they busted him on the train for beating up the people, the Canadian, in the restaurant. So they brought him back to Bruges, and he got out of jail. So I think his girlfriend came and bailed him out or something. So now here's the guy with a bullet in his leg, and now he's got to fight the guy to keep him from killing the kid, the young murderer. And so they have this battle, right? And the guy's got a bullet in him and stuff already. So anyway, the guy gets away, and he's going to go and kill the guy. So the guy's downstairs with the girl. So he basically goes to the edge of the tower and throws himself off the tower, and he's dead, but his gun's there. But now his gun's in pieces. So anyway, the guy goes back to his room, finds a gun that he had stashed, and then that's when the whole thing started happening with the woman, the pregnant woman. So anyway, they're going through the streets and stuff, and now the guy's chasing him, shooting him, trying to shoot him to kill him, and now they stumble onto this movie set where they're making a movie, and the guy starts shooting the guy, and he's hitting him. So you're thinking, okay, this guy's dead. The original, the old murderer guy was trying to save the young murderer. Now they're both dead. Okay, but the story continues. So how is this whole thing going to end up? Now, let's go back to the midget. All right, there's this midget going through this scene. And the guy, the young murderer, had seen the midget, or maybe met the midget previous, and he was sitting there, and he sees the midget going by, and he waves at him or something, but the midget kind of ignores him, so it kind of pissed him off a little bit. But what was it? The woman, the young girl, had some cocaine. She had drugs. So he was talking to the midget at the bar. Yeah, that's what it was. He was at the bar, and there was a midget there with a prostitute, and the guy said to him, "Oh, it's a nice, beautiful girl." And he said, "She's a prostitute." So so anyway, he asked the midget if he wants to do some cocaine. So they go up to the room, and I think both the murderers were up there, and the older murderer, I think, left, or maybe they both left. I think they both left. But the midget had this theory that it was all the whole world was going to blow up in a race war. It was going to be the whites against the blacks against, it's going to be a race war. And so now the midget is turning into this racist, because he's a white midget, and he's, black midgets it's just, so now it's an interesting thing of what they did in the movie is that, they want you to feel some sort of connection with the midget earlier. Okay, they want you to feel some sort of a connection with the midget earlier. And the reason that the midget didn't say anything to him because he was on horse tranquilizers, which I guess were provided by this this girlfriend person. So they kind of get you to have a decent feeling for the midget. And then they have a scene where now you don't have a good feeling about the midget because the midget is a racist midget. Okay, so now the writers of the script have taken you from having some empathy for the midget, whether or not it's, I don't remember if it was basically from what they were talking, it was from that, but also people have sort of like empathy for people like, like midgets. I mean, it must be hell to go through life as a midget. So so now the script has you not liking the midget so much. Okay. So now you have the murderer that's going through the streets shooting at the guy. So you don't like him at all. Both the older guy has given his life to try to save the younger murderer, and now here's the boss going through the streets trying to kill the guy that the older guy finally, had some compassion, and he decided that he was going to try and save this guy. So now the young guy who's felt really bad about killing the kid in the process of killing the priest is now someone that you have empathy for, and he's getting shot, literally. I mean, you're just saying, okay, this guy's dead. So in the process of the boss shooting the guy that you have empathy for, a bullet goes awry and hits the midget right in the face and blows his face apart. And he's dressed up like a little kid in the part. That's his part in the movie. He's dressed up like a little kid, so that the boss thinks that he just got through killing a kid, which is exactly the same thing that the guy who's laying there must have gone through when he killed the kid. Now he's filled with remorse about killing the kid, but his ethics will not allow him to go on. So he, boom, shoots himself. So now he's dead. And then they put the guy in the ambulance, and he's still alive in the ambulance, and they drive off, and that's how the movie ends. And if you think that review was beautiful, you should see the movie. But I wanted to let you know about that movie so you can, if you watch this review, my 700th review, the complexity of how writers write scripts is just fascinating, and it's a beautiful movie. In Bruges, you got to see that movie. I'm Hella Rodney. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.